It's evolution, baby! Yeah, good old Pearl Jam. Hey, this is Raw Vlog number 29. Raw Vlogs are recorded in front of a live steering wheel on my way to getting my Friday morning coffee. They are delivered straight from the camera to you, raw and unrefined. In today's Raw Vlog, we are going to be going through a bunch of your questions. We're also going to be talking about a new way to support the channel. Yeah, if you're unfamiliar with the channel, I'm Alan. This is the eMTB Alan channel. New mountain bike oriented content every Monday at 5 p.m. as well as these raw vlogs on Friday, where we discuss all kinds of stuff, have segments and things like that. Channel news, this Monday's video is going to be the 2019 CRASHmas Special, coming to you from the eMTB Alan channel, where we celebrate and rank the top 10 crashes of 2019. And I talk like that the whole time. The other piece of channel news, which I'm pretty dang stoked on, is I've been selected to participate in a new feature that YouTube is putting out. So you have been able to support the channel by commenting on videos, by liking videos, sharing videos, and just viewing videos, and that's really kind of helped the channel along. It means that I get, you know, the more views that you give the videos, the more likes you give videos, the more you comment, the more those videos show up in other people's feeds, and then I get ad revenue from a lot of those views. You might hate ads, but I may have never told you this, but the GoPro Hero 8 that I purchased was purchased 100% with money that I got from YouTube ad revenue. Is that the right word that I'm using there? In any case, I've been stoked on that. The new thing that is going to be showing up, actually it should already be showing up right now in the under this video, right next to the like button, and in there you will see a little clapping hands icon, and that is the new applaud feature that YouTube is slowly rolling out, or at least trying out with me, as well as a select other few content creators. What this applaud feature does is it allows you to show direct support to the channel. So basically you click the applause button, and then you're offered the ability to purchase an applause, and that money goes, a lot of that money comes directly to me, and then I can use that to continue creating good content. It's kind of like, I think of it almost like an a la carte Patreon kind of thing, where you just have the ability to show more support. So when you really dig a video, or if you just really feel like supporting the channel, you can hit that applause button and yeah, and just give me that direct support. I think it's rad. I think it's a really cool way for us to engage more deeply. Yeah, really cool stuff. So if you're interested in that, check that out. And I think even if you click on that link, there's a little learn more, so you can learn more about what it means to give an applause. Yeah. So that's our channel news for the day. Let's jump into point of curiosity. I want to follow up on something I asked a while ago, which was, or something I was curious about a while ago, which was, why is it that a brand like Santa Cruz, which seems from all intents and purposes to be able to produce mountain bikes, but they don't. You could probably say the same thing about Yeti and a few other brands out there. Some of you responded with answers that seemed to make sense to me, which is like they may just want to wait until the technology is up to par, because they kind of have a high standard. Santa Cruz has a high standard, Yeti has high standards. And I actually asked this to the cats over on the Joey Mountain Bike podcast. If you haven't seen that podcast, go check it out. I've been really digging it. It's Josh from the Daily eMTB Rider, Paul the Punter, and Shane from the Crashing Dad. It's usually those three, and I'm actually digging that podcast because it's a good mix of just like fun banter amongst those three, as well as some structured conversation about just tips and tricks and just stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, I asked them, and one of the responses that I think Paul the punter gave was that he quoted Rob Roskop as saying that Santa Cruz will never make an e-bike. And I thought that was interesting, and me being who I am, I went around looking for that quote. I actually wasn't able to locate that quote. I did locate a quote from an oldish, I think, Bike Mag interview where Rob Roskop said that Santa Cruz would never make a fat bike. And I also found, I think, a 2017 interview with Joe Graney, who's the CEO of Santa Cruz. At least he was the CEO of Santa Cruz in 2017. I'm assuming he still is. And he said that he didn't count out e-mountain bikes or e-bikes from Santa Cruz's lineup. He just said, like, they didn't have any plans right now to do it. The one hint that was dropped was a comment about trail access, and he had a kind of feeling that maybe the e-mountain bikes might complicate issues, or complicate getting trail access for mountain bikes. He didn't say anything specific about that, but he mentioned that while discussing e-mountain bikes. So just thought I'd follow up on that. Point of gratitude today is I have a lot of gratitude for my wife. She's an avid mountain biker like me, as you probably already know. If you've seen some of my videos, you know about eMTB Kelly. And it's just, I'm grateful that she mountain bikes, because, you know, we speak a lot of the same language around that. But even before she got into mountain biking, you know, I used to skateboard a lot, and when I would go skate, she was very supportive of that, even though she didn't really skateboard that much. She skateboarded for a little while, but she kind of stopped doing it. But she always remained supportive of me going and doing the things that make me happy. So yeah, you know, she would be like, you know, I would feel guilty about going skateboarding for a day, and she would just be like, go skate, and I'll see you tonight after you've gotten your stoke in. A lot of gratitude to her. Yeah, so I don't know if you noticed, but I started the video a little bit late today because I have all these questions on Instagram to answer, and I just wanted to be able to read through them. First off, thanks for all the questions. Please do keep the questions coming. If you want to drop them in the comments on this video, feel free to do that, or also just general topics that you may want me to cover. So let's jump into this, all right? So Zaichin Jin basically just said 29ers for the episode. Yeah, I think it's funny. It's episode 29, so 29ers is going to come up, and it did definitely come up with Jesse Walrus and 29er Die, who had some fun banters in the comments about 29ers, 27.5s, that sort of thing. But the question that did come out of that was, like, would I be into mulleting a bike? If you don't know what mulleting a bike is, that means a 29er up front, 27.5 in the back. It's a concept that's been around for a long time, but we're seeing a lot more of those now, and I definitely would try one out. I don't know if I would make that my main bike, but that does get to another question that Rad Van Bikes asked. And actually, Jesse Walrus is the owner of Rad Van Bikes. Rad Van Bikes is a service. A van basically can come to your house and service your bike. Their motto is something like the local bike shop on wheels. So check them out. I have never used Rad Van Bikes, but Jesse seems like a pretty dang rad dude and has a van and works on bikes. And he asks, I know you love your Bronson, but what are your future bike fantasies? And that is connected to the mulleted bike, I have thought about the Mega Tower with a 27.5 on back. That seems like that could be a lot of fun. I know Tawny from the Path Bike Shop, that's becoming his favorite bike. That's what he was saying in the Path podcast. So I would definitely like to try that out, the Mega Tower. Also the Bronson, not sorry, God, I always do this. The Nomad is definitely on in that top 5 of what my next bike would be. I don't really have fantasy bikes, I guess. I just think about like what's the next bike I'd want to get, because yeah. So the Nomad, and I've tried a bunch of bikes, but I just kind of am in love with Santa Cruz right now. Sorry that it's maybe not that more of an interesting question. Timmy Boosters asks, thinking of driving south during Christmas, New Year's, how's the weather down there? Right now, it looks like it's going to be somewhat rainy down there. As a note, if you ever really want to check weather, not sponsored by these guys, but Dark Skies, I don't know if you've heard of this, Dark Sky application. Love this application. It uses like local weather stations and whatnot, and you can get really good, accurate weather, and the forecast for next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is not looking very good for mountain biking. Looks like it might be raining. So that's your weather report from the eMTB Allen channel. Okay, so I was gonna get into Andy Ginther's question about, you know, getting older and riding mountain bikes, but as you can see, he dropped like a whole buttload of questions in here, Andy. So we're just gonna answer these for you, okay? And we're gonna jump through them as fast as we can. We're at like 12 minutes and 30 seconds. Holy crap, okay, I don't know if we're gonna get through all of these. Chamois or no chamois? Chamois. Favorite pre or post ride food? I don't usually eat before I ride. I usually ride fasted. The most I'll do is like a bulletproof coffee. If you don't know what that is, there's a site called Google, look it up. Music or conversation on the way to the trail? I'm assuming that's in the truck. That would be, I don't really know, it really depends. Obviously, if I'm by myself, I'm cranking music. If I'm with buddies, it depends on if we have stuff to talk about or not. Whatever it is, I do like to keep the energy like all about stoke and fun. The last thing I want to do is get into a conversation about work. Favorite weather conditions to ride in? I don't know. I just love when you're in the mountains and the mountains remind you that you're in the mountains. I guess my favorite conditions are the ones where it's changing all day. One of my favorite rides from this year was when I crashed the Santa Cruz party up at Snow Summit, and that day it was sunny during parts of the day, partly cloudy, rainy. Oh, that was just an amazing day. There was thunder and lightning. I loved that. So I just, you know, part of mountain biking is being outside, being in the element, and when the element reminds you of its existence, I love that. Most interesting wildlife seen on the trail? I saw a deer once. Bucket list wildlife to see: a cougar, just because I think they're rad, but I actually don't want to see a cougar on the trail because that'll probably be the last thing I see. Any new trail destinations plans this year? We only got a couple more weeks, so I don't, but if I talk about next year, I definitely want to, if, you know, assuming that the wrist is up to speed and stable, I want to get back up to Santa Cruz, but I also want to get into Utah some, and check out some of that stuff, Sedona, and also other things. What bling do you like to add to your bike? I'm not a very blingy guy, but if Kashima coating counts, then that's what I would want to add to my bike, because I just think it looks cool. I don't know how much of a difference it really makes. How do you secure your bikes when you stop on the way to or from bike trails? I try not to leave the bikes out of sight when I'm stopping, like at a restaurant or whatnot, or a gas station, but I do have a big cable that I loop through the D-rings in the back, and I lock the bike up that way. Any spooky trail stories? Not really. Have you ever thought about quitting mountain biking? Why and what keeps you going? I've never really thought about quitting mountain biking, and if I did, Actually, I can't imagine what that is, but the stoke definitely keeps me coming back. Progression keeps me coming back. Mountain bike prank have I ever done or would like to do? I don't know. I feel that's one of those things where I just don't like to mess with other people having fun. I do like to run into other people's back tires while we're climbing, or grab their seat maybe sometimes and like slow them down. That's always fun. Dream custom bike color or paint job. I think I kind of said earlier, I don't really have like bike fantasies. I just like having a really good bike. Yeah. Oh, another piece of bling might be like an axis shifter. I would be into that if that's bling. If my bike could talk, who would it sound like, and what would its biggest complaint be about you? I've never really kind of personified my bike that much. I'm not the kind of guy that names. I guess I did name my bike. I named it Brawny Blue, but only on Strava, just so I knew which bike it was, and I didn't just want to put Bronson. But if it could talk, the one thing it would probably complain about is not getting ridden enough. And when I walk into my garage and see my bike, what's the first thing I think? And the first thing I think is, dang, look at that friggin' rig. All right, so that is all of your questions, Andy. I actually got to them, and we're at 17 minutes. Holy crap, I didn't mean to do this. Actually, we're not at 17 minutes. What are we at? I don't know. Anyway, if you dug this video, which I know you did because you're watching it and you're part of the core crew, hit that like button. If you're not already part of the core crew, hit that subscribe button and be getting new mountain bike oriented content from me every Monday at 5 p.m. And if you really dug this video or just want to show some direct support for the channel, hit that applause button. See you in a couple of days.